Alright everyone, this is Chase again of moving on to the next step of making up the bread. So we've got our pre-ferment here. It's all nice and good to go. I'll show you what that looks like. So it should look nice and bubbly, just like that. Perfect. So that's exactly how you want it to be looking. Very soupy, still. So not as much as before. Actually not as doughy as before, it's a little more malleable now. So it looks like that. That's excellent. So now what we're gonna do is we need to prepare our bowl for what we're gonna be putting in. So we're gonna take our flour, once again, the einkorn flour. I find just delicious. It's such a delicious nutty taste to it. Alright, so we're gonna put 5 cups of flour in here. Alright. We got 1, 2, 3, 4. This last one. Alright, 5. You got 5 cups of flour. Now, I was just kind of pouring it into the cup and putting it inside the bowl. Now, you find that your dough's, a little sticky or a little dry. You can always add a little bit more water, or you can add a little more flour. So you don't really have to worry too much about this as long as you get the roundabout area of what you're looking for. Alright, so we got this. Now we're going to add in a teaspoon of salt into our 5 cups of flour. I use the Redmond real salt just because, once again, for the nutrients, vitamins and minerals, how good it is for you. I love that. Also one of the cleanest ones. A lot of them that come from the oceans and such, depending upon what segments of the oceans, because sadly we have had some contamination, some pollutions, and so we have to watch out for that when it comes down to the types of salts that we end up getting from that. So this one's a good one. Himalayan pink salt's a good one. There's a couple others out there. As long as you just want to make sure that it was before a point that things started to get contaminated, or from a place that's not even in the water. So like this one, ancient seabed that's all dried up. So that's a good one to get. So I'm gonna just mix this around, right, like that. Get my flour all ready. And then what I like to do is I like to make a little well in the middle. So I'm going to scrape it to the side, just like this. Move this forward a little bit. Scrape it to the side. So I want to make a little well right here, so I can put my yeast and my water at the end of the day. Alright, here we go. Yes. Okay. So now we're going to put the yeast and the water in there. So what you need is 1 cup and 3 tablespoons of water, and then your yeast mixture. So the reason for that 3 tablespoons is so you're going to warm up your water. So as I say, you're going to warm it up, just warm. You can feel it's warm on your finger. See, the warmer, if you just have a little warm water, it's going to really help out with the rising process. So that's what we want to focus on, is that. I mean, if you could use lukewarm or even cold water. The thing is, it's going to take longer for your dough to rise. So you want to make sure that you have warm water if you don't, if you're in a hurry, or if you want to rise a little bit faster. But if not, just understand that it needs to take more time, or find a warmer place in your house for it to sit in order for it to rise a little bit faster. Alright, so we're going to take 3 tablespoons. We go 1, 2, 3. Okay, the reason for that is with our pre-ferment, it's going to be stuck to the bowl a little bit. So this helps to be able to loosen it up. So you kind of work it around. I'm going to take my spoon. I'm going to kind of work it around. I'm going to open up the sides and let the water get in. And that's just going to loosen it up for me. So it's going to be able to be easier to pull out. Yeah, see, look at that. See, now it's really coming out really easily. Oop. Almost came out of the bowl right there. Alright, so after you got that all loosened up, just going to dump it in here. So just as a heads, this is actually a recipe that I got from the Jovial website. Jovial Foods, that's the one that actually sells the einkorn flour. just so you understand, there's no, this isn't actually my, recipe or anything. And I'm not trying to steal anyone's recipe. So this actually does come from the Jovial website. So thank them for this beautiful thing, and also for their beautiful product, Jovial brand Acorn flour. All right, so now we have that in there. Perfect. And so now we're going to take the rest of our cup of water, and we're actually going to pour that in there on top of it. Once again, this is all warm. There we go. Take the spoon like that. And so you can start with your hands, or you can start with a spoon, just to kind of get it going, because it's going to be really sticky at first. So get this going right here. Okay, as you can see, now we're getting into that little doughy. It's all getting doughy. So now this is the point, because my spoon is not doing well at all. So I'm gonna scrape that off. Make sure your hands are clean, please. And then you're gonna take your hands, get in there. All right, and we're gonna start to mix it with our hands. Yeah, just get in there. We're gonna take it. We're gonna squeeze it just like this. Really get it mixed together. Now this is the point where we're definitely gonna figure out whether or not you have enough flour or not, or if you have too much water, or whatever it may be. Because if it's gonna be really sticky on your fingers, you don't want that. That's not what we want. So we're gonna go ahead and knead it a little bit. Now this dough doesn't need a lot of kneading, maybe a minute or two. If you want to go through, you can. It doesn't need a lot. It's a very minimal kneading dough. Big process is going to come next when we do our leavening. Process. Okay, so we got this little dough set up right here. So here we go. It's a nice little dough. Feeling it. Now I'm feeling that it's a little sticky. Just a little bit sticky. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit of flour, because it's still, sticking to my hand pretty well, as you can see. So I'm going to add a little bit more flour. And with this, I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. I'm just going to shake a little bit on top. You don't need a lot, especially if it's just a little sticky. It's going to be fine. All right, so we're going to take it. We're going to knead it into the dough. Knead it in, knead it in, knead it in. Perfect. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Ooh, now that's looking good. So, now it's not really sticking to me. It's a nice dough. Now it will be a little sticky. Okay, but the test for that is if you touch it and it kind of comes off with your finger and really sticks to it, that's too sticky. But if you can touch it and it's a little sticky, but it doesn't come off and it's still nice, then that's a perfect point for you right there. So we're gonna go ahead, pull that away. It's feeling pretty good. It's not coming off of my hand right there. Very nice. So now we're gonna knead it just for a little bit longer. And you can skip ahead. I'm just gonna be kneading for a little bit. You can skip ahead a little bit on this video. For that, I just need to get the kneading in that I need for this. Okay, here we go. So I'm all done with my kneading. It's feeling nice and firm. Got things going pretty well. All right. So there we go. It's got that little stickiness. Not too much though. So on the kneading process, you can do it in the bowl if you want, or you can do it on the counter. You just add a little flour, and then you can knead it all up. But that is kind of up to you. It's personal discretion on that. So, but after you're done, you're gonna take your dough, and you're gonna form it into a ball. Just like this, nice little ball. And what you're gonna do with that is you're just gonna take it and you're just gonna like tuck it under with your hands real quick. Yep. So these fingers are gonna tuck it, and then tuck it, tuck it. You know, it's very subtle, but your thumbs are moving it, and then the fingers underneath are tucking it. It's like a this kind of thing going on. All right, until you have a nice little ball. All right, now this is gonna be the leavening phase that we're going to be putting it into. All right, we're not at the rising phase. We're at the leavening phase. So in the next video, we'll show you what's going to happen with that. We're going to be doing something to be able to help it get air inside of our dough and get it ready to be able to really rise, really be prepared for what we need it to be. All right, so we're going to take this, and I just put it right back in the bowl that I started with. Put it right there in the bowl. All right. Then what you're gonna do, so you can get a wet cloth, or you can get a towel and put it over the top, because you just want to cover it with something. What I like to use plastic wrap. It's simple, very easy. I'm just gonna take this, take a good piece, rip it off, put it on top. Make sure that it seals nice and snug around the top, so as not to get the air in. Reason why we don't want air in here right now is because when you set it out to rise, and even during the leavening process not so much, but when you set it out to rise, what's going to happen is that the air gets in, and then it'll start to make a crust on the top of your bread, and you don't want that. That's going to really just going to hinder your ability, because you have to peel the crust off, or if you mix it in, then it's going to make it, it's not going to make it as smooth as you want it to be. So this just helps out ability to make sure you don't have that crust. All right, so we're gonna do it like this. We're gonna set it out for about 20 minutes, and then we're going to begin the leavening process, which is gonna be inside the next video.